So there's developments in the Timothy Busfield child molestation accusation case where he was, I don't know if we call it on the lam when you're just not turning yourself in. The arrest warrant went out Friday and he didn't turn himself into authorities until, well, Friday was day 1, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, day 5, Tuesday. He says it's because he was driving cross country 2,000 miles. That's bullshit. You can A, get on a plane. B, if you really just didn't want to get onto a plane for whatever reason, you would call the authorities and say, I'm coming. I'm going to drive cross country and I will be there on whatever. But he was whereabouts unknown.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing, but that is not the behavior of an innocent man in my view. But now he's hired some expensive defense lawyer who has come out, and this guy claims that he has passed a, quote, independent examiner's polygraph. That his lawyer hired an independent polygraph examiner, and that Timothy Busfield has allegedly passed it. Period. End of report. Absolutely no additional details. I don't believe it. I'm just going to be honest. There's no way that this lawyer would have hired somebody who they couldn't control to do something like this. And but that's what they're using to make us, believe that he's innocent. And here's a bit of, okay, this is TMZ with video from Timothy Busfield's lawyer's office in Albuquerque. Is this a video we saw the other day where he denies it? Oh, okay. Yeah, we already saw this. Never mind. We already played this. He had his first court appearance the other day. And meanwhile, so that case is going to play out, Maureen. But meanwhile, his wife, Melissa Gilbert, is on her brand website. She's like a Meghan Markle wannabe with her little home style brand, like Home on the Prairie or whatever it is. She's still posting. So she's deleted her personal socials, though she was very active using them, trying to shame people like me who she didn't feel talked about abuse in the proper way. Hello, heal thyself, preacher. Now she's posting on her lifestyle brand all about what's in her refrigerator and having the brand people point out that Melissa has nothing to do with the allegations against Timothy, which is not true. She is repeatedly referenced in the police affidavit in support of the charges, accusing her of being part of the grooming by taking these two 7-year-old boys out for dinners and buying them presents, not specifically saying that she knew they were being abused, but definitely pointing to her as fostering the close relationship. So it's not true that she has nothing to do with it. And she has nothing suddenly to say about abuse, Maureen. Absolutely nothing. She's deleted the socials. So what do you make of this whole thing?
I don't mean to be superficial, but I look at the two of them and they look like a colossal mess. They look like very heavy drinkers to me.
Yeah.
They look unhygienic to me.
Yes, they do look unhygienic.
It speaks to just a sort of chaos, like an emotional, intellectual chaos. That guy was missing for 5 days. If law enforcement knew where he was, we would have known. And I think the feds raiding the house upstate,
yes,
ramming their way in, I think that was an FU to those two for him being wherever he was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as you said, innocent people don't run.
No,
you know,
no.
My opinion, innocent people don't run. She then deletes her Instagram account, but then reactivates the Modern Prairie, whatever her thing is, to show us the contents of her refrigerator, as one does when one's husband is facing multiple accounts of child abuse. That police affidavit, by the way, I believe the part where Melissa's involved too, because when the police in Albuquerque were interviewing Timothy in New York via speakerphone, he said, Melissa is here with me.
She heard everything. November 3rd.
Heard everything. You read his denial, it's like it's all over the place.
Yes.
I definitely would have touched those kids. Are you allowed to touch those kids is the question from the authorities. Well, no, you're definitely not allowed to touch the kids. I mean, there's no protocol for it. I mean, there may be a protocol for it. I don't know. You know what happened? The father of those boys wanted me to hug them. I didn't want to hug them.
And then,
oh, wait, I don't know who those boys are.
Yes,
I don't remember them.
I don't remember them. Yes.
Okay.
Wait a minute. The ones that you just admitted playfully tickling? You don't remember them suddenly?
Highly likely you touched.
Yeah, so which is it? And honestly, it's a no. Can you imagine someone playfully tickling your 7-year-old boy?
There is no reason an adult should be putting hands on a child that is not their own.
That's right. And especially everybody knows that, quote, playful tickling of another man's son is inappropriate for you to be doing as a grown man and is considered a grooming behavior.
Absolutely grooming behavior. I had a distant relative, distant, who we all knew there was something deeply wrong with him. And clue number one, he lived in Southeast Asia and, never came back. But when he would come over, and this was before like this conversation was like just part of our, like we all are very fluent in what this stuff is now, would love to tickle me. And I was a highly ticklish child. And I knew it was so fucked up and disturbing because it's like you're laughing, but it's an involuntary reaction. But inside you're in agony. And the longer it goes on, you can't stop yourself. And you can tell the sadistic glee that the adult, like they're violating you. It's an utter violation.
Yes.
And, you find out that any stranger is tickling your kid. That's step one.
Oh my God.
Step one.
Alarm bells everywhere. I mean, you would never allow this. And for him to have admitted, I might have tickled. It was a very playful set. What? As they're admitting that the woman who was responsible for keeping eyes on those children was off gallivanting and talking to the crew elsewhere, not doing that job. And that right about the time that Timothy came on as director is when they got rid of the iPads that the parents were allowed to look at and watch the children at every moment. Somehow they decided that he claims it wasn't his decision, but it happened right when he came on board.
He's only the director.
Yeah.
He's only running that set, not his decision.
So now coincidentally, no one can watch the children if the woman's not got eyes on them, and she's admitted that she hasn't. And at the same time, Maureen, there was a complaint made by a hair and makeup person about conduct she saw Timothy Busfield do toward the boys in the trailer, where she saw him kissing their faces and touching like their heads, their hair in a way that made her uncomfortable without knowing any of this. This is before any of this had broken.
Women always know.
She knew, and she complained, which is an act of bravery, anonymously, but she did complain, saying there's something off about this guy. He's creepy, and I don't like the way he's interacting with these boys. Long before the mother came forward. It doesn't mean he's guilty. He deserves his day in court, but it's ridiculous that Melissa Gilbert thinks she can just post pictures of butter and milk and have us go buy her lifestyle brand while her husband's accused of genuinely hurting two little boys, one of whom the therapist says has constant nightmares, bedwetting, and PTSD to this day. They're only 11 now.
There's a third accuser that just came forward. The father, this broke, he filed on Wednesday. So several years ago, his then 16-year-old daughter was auditioning for Timothy Busfield's theater company in San Francisco.
Children's theater.
Oh, is it a children's theater?
Theater.
Okay, we know exactly who we're dealing with.
I'm sorry.
My opinion.
Mine too.
So the father alleges that Timothy Busfield got this girl alone, kissed her, no doubt under the guise of it's a scene.
Yeah.
It's a scene. Kissed her, jammed his hands down her pants.
She was 16.
And progressed from there. And when the father found out, went to Timothy Busfield, who, according to him, begged the family not to press charges and said he would go get therapy. And this is why these conversations are so important. There is zero therapizing a child predator. There is zero rehabilitation for sex criminals. They have to be put away for life. That's it. The recidivism rate is like 100%.
Yes, you can take it to the bank. And now Timothy's new expensive lawyer is saying, oh, that's totally unrelated. You know, anything that happened 25 years ago with a 16-year-old bears not at all on the accusations here. Now, they're different. Obviously, 16-year-old girl, and there's also an allegation involving a 17-year-old girl, is different than a 7-year-old boy. They're both disgusting. They're both abuse. They're both taking advantage of a minor in a totally inappropriate way. And the fact that this guy and his daughter let him off the hook from going to the authorities and turning him in does not mean it was a nothing burger. It means someone had grace for him 25 years ago, who probably is really regretting that now that they see these allegations brought by these then 7-year-old, now 11-year-old boys.
Yes, absolutely. And God. So this was what was really, really just under my skin watching the Globe's red carpet and the likes of Mark Ruffalo, like, hop over to the media, like, Mark, what's the button? Oh, the button's for, you got white supremacists and blah, blah, blah. Pedophilia is so effing rampant in Hollywood. Why don't you guys who kept your mouth shut throughout the Diddy trial, throughout us watching Cassie on a loop, and you kept your mouth fucking shut? Why don't you address your backyard?
Yes, where's that pin?
Clean
Where's
that
that
up.
pin?
Clean that up, and then get back to the rest of us about how we should live and vote and think.
100%. We got to go through some of this Nickelodeon stuff that we have pulled, and I've been meaning to get to. So we have been covering this. We had Alexa Nicholas on, and she was a child star on Nickelodeon. She starred in Zoe 101, and she talked to us about a number of things that happened on Nickelodeon. But Nickelodeon had multiple child molesters. I mean, actual child molesters on set, molesting children. Like, they molested, one of them molested Drake Bell, who shared in this documentary what happened to him at the hands of this guy, Brian Peck. Viewer warning, this is disturbing, but this is from a documentary that we discussed with Alexa. Let me just show you Alexa first, discussing the most disturbing episode of Zoe 101 that involved Jamie Lynn Spears. It's SOT 26.
There are these goo pops, and my character can't get it open.
Not coming out.
And it ends up squirting onto Jamie's face. So the prop person comes onto set with a syringe. We all stood behind the camera to watch. It lands on her face. So first it was Dan roaring, laughing, and then everyone kind of giggling. We heard the boys saying, it's a shot. And I had no idea what that meant. Once I saw it again as an adult was when that memory came back. So I was like, oh. Wasn't funny. It still isn't funny to me, to be honest. It's just like, that's a kid.
And it's so obvious what they were. Let me give you another one. This is Ariana Grande got her start on Nickelodeon, which a lot of people don't know, but she became a child star over there, acting and singing. And I'm sorry, this is so vile, but this is all at the hands of this guy, Dan Snyder, who was running Nickelodeon. He was the man over there. He was never accused of molesting anybody, just to be clear, but he was accused of creating extremely vile setups for young girls over and over, and young boys too, and of fostering an environment in which actual child predators worked all over the set. So no one's been able to get Dan Snyder on actual charges of molestation, but it's very clear that he created a very inappropriate atmosphere. And here is Ariana Grande, his biggest star, you tell me whether these are appropriate scenes for this young girl.
Sometimes I wonder if you can get juice from a potato.
Did that air on Nickelodeon?
Come on, give up the juice.
Yikes.
I'm thirsty.
In another video, Ariana's pouring water on herself in what seems like a very sexual manner. And people started saying, this feels inappropriate for children.
Oh my God. And just one more, Maureen. Drake Bell. What's the name of this film again, you guys, that we highlighted from Nickelodeon? It was very dark. Quiet on Set. Drake Bell appears in it and shared what happened to him. There was a guy named Brian Peck on set who I think was the voice coach or the dialect coach. And this guy slowly, according to Drake, drove a wedge between Drake and his father, who was his primary caregiver. And like, your dad doesn't understand you. Your dad's not taking care of you. He doesn't care about your career, whatever. And Drake was 15. He got Drake to sleep over at his house one night. And ultimately in this movie, Drake shared what happened. Here it is.
I was sleeping on the couch where I would usually sleep, and I woke up to him. I just opened my eyes. I woke up, and he was sexually assaulting me. And I froze and was in complete shock and had no idea what to do, no idea how to get out of the situation. I had no car, I didn't drive. I was 15 at this time. You know, he's so apologetic. Oh, this will never happen again. I'm so sorry. You know, that I don't know what got into me, and I crossed the line, and this will never happen again. The abuse was extensive, and it got pretty brutal. Why don't you do this?
Yeah.
Why don't you think of the worst stuff that someone can do to somebody as a sexual assault, and that'll answer your question.
That's so dark. That man who molested him, Brian Peck, was the dialogue coach at Nickelodeon. He was found guilty of lewd acts with a child in 2003. And then, unfortunately, Drake Bell was sentenced much later to 2 years of probation after pleading guilty to 2 charges against him relating to a girl he met online and who attended one of his concerts in Cleveland in 2017. And the charge was child endangerment. So clearly that was an underage girl, because this can turn into a cycle. And that's what was going on the set of America's premier children's programming network for years. And I'm sorry, but it's like your reaction when I said that Timothy Busfield was running a children's theater was exactly the same reaction I had, which is, okay, the same way, like, they become Boy Scout leaders and they volunteer to help at children's charities. And the pedophiles go where children are. I'm not saying Timothy Busfield is a pedophile. He's got charges against him that he'll fight in court. He says the mother is a money-grubbing revenge artist who's pissed that he was the director of the show when her 2 7-year-old twin boys were fired from it. That's his story. And he has a star of the show, a female actress, who told the Warner Brothers investigator that the mother said that to her, that the mother said, I'm going to get revenge on Timothy Busfield. And he claims he has a clean polygraph. That's where he's going with his defense. But we're broadening it out now. And you and I both know the way Warner Brothers conducted this investigation and failed to cooperate fully, in my view, with the police looking into Busfield is par for the course in Hollywood. A new year means new financial goals, like making sure your savings are secure and diversified. Will this be the year you decide to talk to someone from Birch Gold Group? They use an educational approach with a deep understanding of macroeconomics. There are forces pushing the dollar lower right now and gold higher, which is why they believe every American should own physical gold. So until January 30th, if you are a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and start the process, just text MK to 989898. Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and you are still eligible for a rebate of up to $10,000. Consider making right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate of up to $10,000 when you buy by January 30th. Text MK to the number 989898 and claim your eligibility today. Again, just text MK to the number 989898 to check it out. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.